A very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. Welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. It's me, Michael Jitan Lukoma, with Elizabeth Nakakoni, and we'll go straight to what we have for you this particular arrangement. First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has urged parents to fulfill their responsibility of guiding their children and showing them how to live purposefully. She was at a stakeholders consultative meeting she hosted for leaders from various sectors in the Teso region at Soroti State Lodge.
Noted that while young people globally face similar challenges, parents from other parts of the world are more proactive in guiding their children, unlike many African parents who allow their children to grow up without proper direction.
I have been complaining many a time about how parents have completely abdicated their responsibility. You would imagine normally that children are safer at home than even in schools. But when the schools closed, there was this outcry throughout the whole country that education must open because the girls are getting pregnant all over the country. And I was feeling really frustrated myself and saying, how can parents be shameless to accept the fact that they cannot lead their children to live a normal life when they are at home with them?
The First Lady made these comments at a stakeholders consultative meeting she hosted for leaders from various sectors in the Teso region at Soroti State Lodge. The meeting was part of the Teso Regional Youth Life Skills Summit, themed My Life, My Responsibility, organized by the Organization of African First Ladies for Development Uganda, with support from the Uganda AIDS Commission. She expressed hope that parents in Teso would be reminded of their roles and cease neglecting their children, which she attributed to the unprecedented rise of teenage pregnancies and drug addiction.
Young children addicted to drugs. Now listen about a young man just going and raping an old woman. African families used to really respect the elders. But now our young people are doing the undoable.
She thanked the Vice President and all other stakeholders for joining the fight against the issues destroying and harming children. In another development, the First Lady and Vice President Major Retired Jessica Alupo joined forces to inspire the youth of Teso at the Regional Youth Life Skills Summit held at Teso College, Aloet. These summits aim to empower adolescents with life skills for making informed, safe and healthy decisions about their lives and futures. They cover topics such as living purposefully, worldviews and decision-making, media and technology, sexuality and relationships, leadership, and HIV/AIDS.
At the grassroots, our young people, especially the girl child, are faced with challenges such as early marriages or forced marriages at that, unplanned for pregnancies, all of which are impeding their successful completion of the education cycle. We as leaders owe a duty of care to these children to save them from these challenges within the communities they live in. Mama, through faith in God and service of God's people, you have demonstrated admirable and inspiring support to the youth.
The First Lady urged the youth to embrace godly values, honor their bodies, and the opportunity for their education as treasurers from the Lord.
Therefore, I implore you, as you leave this place, to honor and treasure the knowledge you have acquired and to hold it sacred. Your true love waits commitment to yourself, your future partner, and your parents or guardians.
Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
The East African Legislative Assembly has come up with a transitional model as it transits to a political federation. The Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, Joseph Ntari Tuimana, told the media that the model allows partner states to cooperate and achieve customs union and East Africa common market.
Members of East African Legislative Assembly states are in Uganda for a 3-week plenary sitting. EALA has a rotational arrangement of the plenary sessions. The Assembly will handle committee reports, various bills and also petitions and motions by members.
We also have Amongin who will bring again this female genital mutilation bill. The committees will bring report on 1, election management in EAC region. This is Regional Affairs Committee.
On the allegations of misuse of funds at ESC headquarters, members say the Assembly has an audit commission that annually prepares audit reports. A member of EALA, John Odong, says they have made progress as a community to achieve customs union and common market.
The political federation still remains the ultimate ambition of the community, but in the interim, in the intermediate, the summit has adopted political confederation. Is coordination on matters of foreign policy, there is security, there is trade.
Assembly, my committee will be going to Juba. What are we doing in Juba? In assessing the progresses made with the peace talks and peace initiatives for the South Sudan.
On non-tariff barriers and cross-border trade, the chairperson Communication Trade Committee says the challenge still persists because different countries have disparities.
The problem with non-tariff barriers is they keep coming up every day. Every time a new product comes up, if the standard in Kenya is different from the standard in Uganda, automatically that becomes a problem. So it's a continuous problem that requires continuous resolution.
To speak, in our community we have 13 one-stop border posts across the region, and these one-stop border posts have eased the free movement of people and goods.
Members from the DRC are to attend the plenary virtually.
Focus on the positive. We focus on, for instance, what will the Republic of Uganda bring to the table of the East African Economic Bloc to make it the best.
I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gweta Benji at Parliament.
The Uganda Police Force intends to revive the idea of manning traffic officers with shotguns to support their enforcement during operations. This comes upon increasing cases of attacks on traffic police officers. Kutoma Rusoke, the police spokesperson, says that the public need to appreciate the sacrifice of the men and women in uniform.
The scuffle that happened last week has prompted Uganda police to contemplate giving traffic officers shotguns to enhance traffic operations. The traffic police officer at the rank of police constable, Charles Makawa, while controlling traffic flow around Nakawa traffic lights, was attacked by a female motorist.
She goes ahead, confiscates 2 phones of this officer and also confiscates a government machine. That's the EPS machine. She gets them, she now takes possession.
The suspect is identified as Maset Bintwire Bashisha. In the altercation, some of the traffic controlling gadgets, including phones and the EPS ticket machine, were damaged.
She really seems to be the kind who runs through an illegal system. She has no insurance, she does not feel any obligation towards traffic regulations. Then of course there are charges we have slapped her with in respect to crime, where we have charged her with assault and also simple robbery.
Police is proposing arming its officers with shotguns and giving them more security to enhance their safety.
Eyokwetaaga ngabo nabo okubawa ebyokwetaasa ndoza nakyo tujja kuba tukitunulamu nga management. Kirina obulungi bwakyo, kirina ne disadvantages. Naye ekyo ndoza kyekintu management kyejja okutunulamu.
In another development, the Inspector General of Police Abbas Byahagaba has applauded a traffic officer, Police Constable Tumusime Abdallah, for exhibiting high level of discipline and dedication during traffic operations. Tumusime's video clip went viral recently, where officer is seen enduring heavy rains while controlling traffic in Kampala.
The Inspector General of Police tasked me to particularly make him know that he has been appreciated.
I really love my country. I love Uganda. That's the reason why I couldn't even see rain. And even during sunshine, I'm always there. And I can promise that I will always continue working hard and hard for the country.
In policing operations, at least 40 suspects were arrested during a week in review. Security launched a crackdown on criminal gangs in different urban centers, towns, and cities to curb criminality.
We are trying to carry out these operations because these fellows we arrest have given headache to people in the areas near where they smoke their weed.
At Kila Police Station, police are investigating a break-in of Cholina Chechkweimirila, a money-lending company. It is alleged that robbers broke into the office of the money-lending company and made away with large sums of cash, 40 computers, and yet to be valid sums of collateral securities of the company clients.
Access to the premises by cutting through the iron sheets and the wooden ceiling. The internal padlock on the front door was also cut, and a large amount of property, including clients' belongings used as loan collateral, was stolen.
The details surrounding these investigations include the legal operation of this money-lending company, insurance status of the company, and how their clients will be compensated. Abdul Nasir Luwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
The Special Forces Command, that's the SFC Deputy Commander, Brigadier General Asaf Mweteise Nyakaikuru, has underscored the critical role of military planning and adaptability in a warfare or operation. Nyakaikuru told the newly SFC passed out VIP protection agents that adaptability is how one reacts in case one bullet from the enemy goes, putting into question how one would adapt to the situation. He revealed how important it is for VVIP operatives to adjust and adapt to situations. He made the remarks at the very important Persons Training School, Kasenyi, while presiding over the pass-out of trainee officers who underwent the VVIP Commander's Planning course. The SFC Deputy Commander also congratulated the officers for successfully finishing their course on VVIP protection. He noted that serving as soldiers, protecting the president, but you had not done this course before, saying that the course propels them to the domain of protecting the VVIP. Nyakaikuru told them how impressed he was with the briefing of the agents, noting that their shooting abilities were impressive too, especially having known that they did it within 10 weeks. He also thanked President Museveni as the Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces for his wise leadership that has seen the army grow into a force to reckon with. The Commander 1 Special Force Group, Colonel John Bosco Asinguza, also congratulated the officers upon achieving the milestone. He informed the officers that they should use the knowledge and skills acquired to anticipate and mitigate potential threats to VIPs and to the nation at large. He also lauded the SFC leadership for the continued guidance and modernization of training, equipping the SFC personnel so as to ably contain evolving threats to Uganda.
You are our force multiplier. You have come at a time that we need you, and need you most, especially when we have the elections and campaigns around the corner. We have been lacking commanders like you, highly educated, it was obvious how you read the orders. This is the way you're going to fight as well, or you're going to operate. So your level, I have no doubt with your level of education, of course, level of seeing things, and this shows that you're going to do a very good job. I want to thank the training team headed by Major Samson. You did a great job to train people within 10 weeks and perform the way they performed on range ground and perform the way they performed in the briefing room.
An age when it comes to practice. Initially we used to have training. You come here, you do very, very important people, important persons training course, protection training course. Basically that is for an operator, it would be for the operators. But as commanders, you shield. They have much higher responsibility than that because you have to plan. You keep anticipating what is likely to happen, so you think enemy. Sir, allow me to applaud and also to implore the commanders who are graduating today, if you so wish to graduate them.
Training requirement and therefore did not make it. While another one was sent for special duties in early days of the training and was unable to continue with the course. Course objective. The course was intended to equip the officers with advanced leadership, operational and planning skills during management of VIP protection operations. Course content. The course covered, among others, operational planning, leadership, counterterrorism, VIP search, VIP protection, political education, intelligence, skill at arms, military law, physical training, communication.
The NUP party president Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu is concerned about the prolonged detention of several party members, some of whom have been in jail for over 4 years. At a meeting held at the National Unity Platform headquarters in Makerere Kavule, Chagulanyi expressed dissatisfaction with the lack of justice and the actions of security agencies and the judiciary.
The National Unity Platform President Robert Chagulanyi has condemned the recent Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill 2024, introduced by Michana South Member of Parliament Richard Lumu. The bill seeks to change how the leader of opposition in Parliament is chosen.
Okulonda leader of opposition kiberenga kuli presided over by Anita Amongo. Mr. Lumu, I even sympathize with him because he was given the responsibility by whoever gave it to him, and now he's struggling with the task he was given. That's why you see him moving positions every so often. All of a sudden he says, okay, not just the law. Now, let also the deputy speaker come from the opposition. Now also this and so on. Total confusion.
I think it's the right time for Lumu to withdraw this bill. It is not in the interest of Ugandans, it is not in the interest even of the ruling government. Because the ruling government does not want to look ugly, it has come out clearly to say no. Imagine a situation whereby we do not have anybody to check us out. We have been checking ROCO and all these are the monies that have been spent, the taxpayers' money. And we think it is high time Lumu to withdraw this bill because it is not of interest of any of Ugandans at large.
Chagulanyi was also concerned about the prolonged detention of several party members.
To add my voice on the many voices speaking about the plight of the political prisoners that have been held in prison for the longest time, some 4, approaching 5 years, and others years and several months. Now all of you know that these people were arrested and detained without any crime.
Disappointed by our minister, the youth minister, Mr. Balam. Mr. Balam is not right to tell the people to accept, to tell those prisoners to accept that they are charged.
The former presidential candidate reassured Ugandans that NOP will soon resume its nationwide tours.
We promised we are going to come to you in our next phase of the nationwide tour. We are still working out a few modalities and we shall soon announce our schedule.
Meanwhile, NOP's national youth leader, Francis Zake, announced that the party will hold a Youth Day event this Friday in Jinja district at Kachindo Stadium.
A convention that we had last year for the very first time, we're going to have it for the second time this week on Friday, and it's going to be our second convention for the young people, only the leaders of the young people, the youth leaders from the village level up to the national level.
Jamil Sekaja compiled this report.
The Ugandan National Examinations Board, that's UNEP, has cautioned media personnel against accessing examination rooms and taking recordings while candidates are writing their examinations. The board spokesperson Jennifer Kalule-Musumba says that going forward, journalists found in examination rooms will be subjected to prosecution as per the UNEP Act of 2021.
Nations Board UNEP will close available loopholes in curbing examination malpractices by operationalizing the UNEP Act of 2021. Journalists have been barred from entering examination rooms. UNEP says media people disrupt the examination process.
One is permitted to take any coverage or take photographs or videos during examination paper or in examination room or examination is underway. Such an action is a threat to the spirit of examination and just in case of a problem arising out of the action, you will be convicted for aiding and abetting malpractice upon the UNEP Act.
It is now a week into the Uganda Certificate of Education. UNEP says some teachers have been arrested while attempting to smuggle examination papers.
A Jack Moses was masquerading as a examiner, and accordingly thereafter, he did form a WhatsApp group, 15 WhatsApp groups, which he administered for sharing alleged examination papers, including the POV examination papers. By the time these two were arrested, they were in possession of examination papers for POV, that is for mathematics, SSC, English, and science.
Meanwhile, the Uganda Communications Commission has launched operations against illegal broadcasters. This includes 17 radio stations operating without licenses, internet vendors with illegal transmitters, community broadcasters known as Ebizindalo, among others.
Ebizindalo are not permitted to operate by law. They are not licensed by the Uganda Communications Commission or any other entity in Uganda for purposes of broadcasting. Why? Because they disrupt public order and peace. The enforcement team will arrest individuals found conducting illegal broadcasting. Installing such equipment violates Section 26 of the Act and results into a fine of 30 million Uganda shillings.
According to UCC, these internet vendors go beyond the purchased radio spectrum, which brings interference in internet connections.
Leaders from the National Resistance Movement Central Executive Committee and religious leaders have called upon the country's leaders to set a good example for the people as they make crucial decisions for the country's future. The call came during a ceremony to honor Hajat Hadija Namialo's contributions to the party's prosperity.
Seem concerned about some government leaders' performance, citing it as a hindrance to government programs reaching the people. At a service held by the Presidential Office in Chambogo, leaders and religious figures emphasized assisting the president to expand government programs.
It takes a lot to recall. It takes a lot to appreciate. But it stands and stands right for someone to betray.
NRM's SEC women's leader, Lydia Wanyoto, said many government leaders have not supported government to create public awareness. She has applauded Hajat Hadija Namyalo, for empowering the community through various assortments.
We love your support and we really want to thank you for working with us. But it seems it was getting out of people's way and mind, and therefore Hajat stood firmly and executed, don't go away.
One religious leader, Sheikh Chinyenya, thanked Hajat Namyalo for bringing back the people to NRM. Members of Parliament, led by Shatsi Kutesa Musherure, praised Namyalo for her dedication to ensure President Museveni wins the coming general election.
I've found young people from all regions of Uganda. I take this opportunity to thank you for recognizing leadership and giving this day in honor of Hajat Namyalo.
You're lucky that you have people you lead who appreciate your good leadership skills and for working as a team.
The presidential office staff, presidential advisors and others commended the office's efforts in Kyambogo, citing its positive impact on the party's public image.
Who has a unique character. She is very unpredictable, and that is a sign of a good leader under political mobilization.
Namyalo ye muntu atagoba muntu, ye muntu asemberera buli muntu, ye muntu ayimirirawo ku lw'omuntu yenna.
The Thanksgiving service was organized by the office staff with clergy and supporters. Lydia Chomkama and Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Minister of State for Fisheries Helen Adoa has urged the church to take interest in children's morals. She says if church leaders preach values to the children, they can shape their behavior.
Parental responsibility has come up due to the declining morals among children. Minister of State for Fisheries Helen Adoa wants the church to play a key role in shaping the morals of children.
When children are raised from the church, they learn to grow as God-fearing people. The church has a big role to play. The church can change the generation that they want to be. And with the Papa Bishop Echiru, I can now see and I can dream another new reformed generation soon coming.
Speaking during Soroti Catholic Diocesan Catechist Day at Father Hilda's Primary School ground in Soroti City, Adoa also reminded women catechists to take care of their families.
When women come here and see their husbands like angels, they look after them well when they go back home. I was only getting disorganized when men were getting gifts and the women were not running after those gifts and jumping. I saw the catechists going alone to sit with the gifts.
At least 2,135 catechists from Soroti Catholic Diocese renewed their commitment to catechism duties. This was the first time they were renewing their faith. In the homily, the Bishop of Soroti Catholic Diocese, Right Reverend Joseph Echiru, urged the catechists to remain steadfast in service. Of recent, parenting has become a challenge due to poverty and pressing economic trends. Charity Marion Imnat and Among Salme for UBC News.
Norwegian Refugee Council is in plans of integrating newly arrived Sudanese refugees in Kampala into their protection from violence and exploitation in an unfamiliar urban environment. The NRC program helps refugees to access legal services, psychosocial support and dispute resolution mechanisms within their host communities. We look at the influx of Sudanese refugees in Kampala by highlighting their journey, challenges and their living conditions in Uganda's capital city.
Political instability in Sudan has forced many refugees to flee for safety. Kampala has become a destination for many. Saldeddin Elias Mohammed, a refugee from Darfur, Sudan, fled to Uganda in 2010 since his country was at war. Muhammad says that language barrier was a major challenge for him and his colleagues. But with the guidance from partners like OPM, NRC, he was able to enroll in adult education and later studying law.
As I told you, we are unable to speak English and we don't know Luganda. We speak only Arabic, the country language, and your mother tongue language, of which is foreign. I decided to go to Bright and Happy Kampala Adult School, of which I had to say thank you for Moseko Papa Ebo. The person who has been guiding me that yes, it is normal that you can get back to your normal life, because we came when we are not like someone is having trauma, having issues. You are here alone, no one to stand, you don't know where to stay. Those are the things that we have been moving through.
Muhammad notes that after acquiring knowledge and understanding the laws of the country, he decided to start up a community-based organization to advocate for his fellow Sudanese and South Sudanese refugees that live in Kampala.
Pick our people, those who are intellectual, refugees who are intellectual, within the area, Kawempe, was or any other place from urban. We call upon them to come and do volunteer work. We are all volunteer, even me, I'm a director, but by now I'm still a volunteer. I'm not receiving anything because I believe that it's the work to be done by us.
Norwegian Refugee Council and partners provide protection services and advocates for rights of refugees by ensuring that their safety and dignity is observed in their host environment.
I'm an electronic engineer by profession and I have skills in graphic design. So you can find that like many of us, they have skills in different fields, but they don't find like opportunities to work. So, and some challenges that they face is exactly for language.
A lot of GBV cases that are not being reported. So like the NRC, they come here, they were giving us sessions about GBV and like if you face something like that, what you can do to reduce the effect on you.
Through collaboration with government structures, NRC has created conducive environment for peaceful integration of refugees into urban settings.
Because as NRC, when we supported them and trained them in alternative dispute resolution techniques such as mediation, they themselves were able to resolve disputes within their community. They would sit down, listen to each other and resolve disputes. And for those cases that were beyond them, they were able to refer. They were able to refer it to our offices. So this is a very good example. The Sudanese community is a very good example of what we talk about when we talk of resilience and self-sustenance.
With the current staffing that we have as NRC, AWAD and RLP, we cannot reach out to everybody. So we are embracing what they call the community-based approach. Community-based approach means that you precisely work together with the communities. That is the community leaders and then the community structures to reach out to everybody through awareness, guiding them where the services are, and we encourage all our refugees or our visitors, the visitors of the government of Uganda, to access government institutions.
Zahra Abigaba, UBC News.
Uganda Law Students Association has had its 6th cabinet handover, seeing new leadership at its helm. The association was established in 2019 with the aim of fostering to unite law students within the legal field.
Sebufu Usama has tasked the Uganda Law Students Association to link the legal academia and professional practice while striving to excel at school. He was speaking at the inception of the new leadership of the association.
It is a step in the right direction. We have been students before as well. We have also been student leaders before, and it is our duty as lawyers, as senior colleagues, to mentor the young lawyers.
Angela Namulime, the first female president of the association, and her incoming cabinet are tasked to sustain the young association.
I hope that you learn to prioritize leadership. I hope you learn that leadership is service, it is sacrifice. No one is going to pay you for just coming to a meeting and paying your own transport, you know. No one is going to pay you for reaching out to ULS leaders and telling them problems. No one is.
Former president of the association, Gideon Mwanje, and his outgoing 2023-24 team, among other achievements, managed to scoop 50 scholarships for various law students.
We initially gave out 50 scholarships to law students in Uganda. The reason being that so many students were reaching out to me. They were facing financial constraints in line with the legal profession. You know, the legal field is expensive. So we saw it fit that as law students, leaders, we should come up with an initiative to see that we can extend something to the law students. And we believe so many people are appreciating, and all that will be captured. We look forward to having more scholarships being given or awarded to law students in Uganda.
Currently, there are 15 accredited law schools in Uganda that meet the requirements set up by the National Council of Higher Education, who are all members of the Uganda Law Students Association. Wadulo Makanol for UBC News in Kampala.
UBC News tonight. Moving on, Satellite Laboratory. The Uganda COVID-19 Response Emergency and Preparedness Project are to commission a satellite laboratory at Fort Portal Regional Referral Hospital by January 2025. The lab will focus on improving detection of diseases and diagnostic services in Rwenzori region.
The Ministry of Health, through Uganda COVID-19 Response, Emergency and Preparedness Project, UCRIP, has constructed a satellite laboratory at Fort Portal Regional Referral Hospital. The health facility has been facing a challenge of space and modernized equipment to handle certain tests and also detection of diseases, as most of the times tests had to be transported to Entebbe and Kampala. Dr. Oscar Kalisa, the acting hospital director, notes that the Rwenzori region is an epidemic and disaster-prone area with several outbreaks recorded in the recent years. When commissioned, the satellite laboratory will change the turnaround time of getting results and early detection of diseases.
Our reference lab has been either CPHL or we have been going to UVRI in Entebbe. So we think as this new structure comes up with the new equipment and the staff, we should be able to diagnose the emerging diseases in real time, and then the clinician can take informed decision and then see how best we can mitigate the spread of infection.
But with UCRIP and with the construction of this laboratory, our aim is to equip Fort Portal Regional Referral Hospital with modern equipment, with reagents, with specialized staff, and continuous trainings of laboratory technicians to an international standard level, so that once tests are done, they are easily interpreted by any health worker all over the world.
Dr. Kalisa also highlighted that the region is faced with the challenge of waste management, like disposal of medical waste, as 2/3 of what they receive from national medical stores is turned into waste, yet the regional incinerator is under construction.
Most facilities have been using what we call open burning. They would dig pit holes, the rubbish is thrown in and then burned from there. We cannot completely destroy the microorganism that is recommended. So the Ministry of Health, with support of implementing partners, is constructing a regional incineration plant at Kichwamba, which is now in an advanced stage, and are awaiting the delivery of equipment. And then the ministry is also going to supply us with 2 trucks, which will be moving along the whole region.
The regional hospital has also been facing oxygen shortage since the oxygen plant broke down. To address this, the Ministry of Health, through UPDF, has constructed a new oxygen plant that is yet to be commissioned. The Uganda COVID-19 Response Emergency and Preparedness Project under the Ministry of Health is being implemented in 5 components like case management and psychosocial support.
So under these components, we have the construction of intensive care units, and so far we have 3 intensive care units being constructed in Alua Regional Referral Hospital, Kabale Regional Referral Hospital, and Hoima Regional Referral Hospital. The construction of these ICUs is in its final stages. At least we are hopeful that by the end of this year we shall be able to commission the Hoima Intensive Care Unit. Social support, we have the NICU, the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, a specialized facility for premature babies or for babies who have been born and are unable to breathe on their own. And in this particular one, we have one facility at Imbara Regional Referral Hospital. The construction is ongoing.
Construction of the satellite laboratory started last year in January and stalled for some months, affecting its completion on time. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Statistics at World Health Organization show that over 55 million people across Africa have severe eyesight, of whom less than 1.3 million people can't access glasses due to their high costs. In Uganda, Lapare Uganda has partnered with Vivo Energy to extend eye care services to people of Entebbe in Kitoro to offer free eye tests.
In Uganda, it is estimated that in 2023 more than 20,000 accidents took place, 40% of which were attributed to poor vision of the drivers.
So most drivers are driving within Uganda without having a clear 20/20 vision, allowing them to drive safely during day or even at night. So we saw that there is need even for us to interact with this target audience, which are motorists.
At least 3.5 million Ugandans have severe eyesight complications, raising a need for eye care services across the country.
Nowadays, every single person is on the screen. Every single person is using the screen for more than 5 hours in a day. And what we don't know is that there is a light called blue light that is emitted by all of the screens that we use. And unfortunately, it can have very adverse effects on our eyes.
It is projected that if eye care services are ignored, by 2050, half of the world's population will be blind. Contributing factors to eyesight complications in Uganda include diabetes, use of electric gadgets, and many more. Lapare Uganda and Vivo Energy Uganda have launched the 16th optical shop in Kitoro Entebbe to ease access for people with eye problems.
Of course, we normally get inquiries. You very well know that some people travel from Entebbe to Kampala. So you find like in our branches in Kampala, we keep on getting people coming from Entebbe and also asking and inquiring if we can extend services closer to them.
We do not do surgery, but whenever we realize through our preliminary test, vision test that we usually do in shop, if we realize that someone's problem is more advanced, that it cannot be resolved with glasses, we will refer them to the right people.
Entebbe is also well positioned to be in a position to get more people, with eye defects. And that being said, it doesn't take you nothing to come to Lapare and know the status of your eyes, knowing the fact that eye test is free of charge.
They are targeting schools in Entebbe and public places to conduct regular eye checkups and reduce burden affecting the people.
Africans in the diaspora under the umbrella organization dubbed IDO Network International have embarked on their third reconnection journey to Africa. The reconnection journey that kicked off on the 20th of October 2024 and runs till November 3rd, 2024 is geared towards reconnecting African diasporas with their African roots.
Reconnection journey of Africans in the diaspora is focusing on cultural tourism, investment, and uniting African diaspora with the continent.
When they come to us, we trace the king. Through the king to his chiefs, to the bottom, we are able to trace a village as far as Kaberemaido, Ruero, Kasara, and even find the elders.
The drive has attracted over 15 royals from across Africa and the diaspora, including the Queen Mother of Barbados, Queen Masilikazi of the Zulu Kingdom, among other royals.
We are still trying to find here in East Africa as to where our families are, because wherever we are, we blend in and we speak the language of those people.
The global network of African diaspora is currently pushing for the return of African artifacts looted by colonialists.
We are negotiating with the institutions to return our artifacts. There is a lot of our artifacts, even from Uganda, Buganda, Toro, at the Oxford University, British Museum. The reasons that we've been given that they are not yet giving us the artifacts, they believe that we do not have the facilities to keep and to preserve our own artifacts.
The wealth of cultural expression and cultural artifacts that the continent of Africa has is unprecedented and unmatched, in my view, anywhere on this planet.
It is also pushing for an end to the exploitation and abuses youthful Africans grapple with while working abroad, especially casual laborers.
We need to create a better atmosphere for our people. Unfortunately, some of our people are stolen and gone away, and some of our young people are actually being lured because they have no, and they go because there's no future here. Let's create a future for them home so that they want to stay. So no one can come and say, oh, come with me to this country and I'll make you X amount of dollars without knowing where they're going.
They can take us out of Africa, but they can't take Africa out of us. Ayete!
No, Olwen Peters, UBC News in Kampala.
Environment through Life Adoption and Resilience Program has embarked on a creation of awareness for the people of Chibale District on mitigation and adaptation measures to curb natural disasters. Joseph Epitu, the Commissioner National Focal Point Life Adaptation and Resilience Program, Ministry of Water and Environment, while traversing the disaster-prone areas, pointed out that Chibale is among the 12 districts that will benefit from funding for the management of disasters and other impacts of climate change.
Policy analyst from the Ministry of Water and Environment, Harriet Chomhendo, has expressed concern over human-wildlife conflict and advised residents to shift from fragile ecosystem areas like riverbanks, forests, wetlands, and abide by Wildlife Regulations, Forest Act, and bylaws of the local authorities.
Valley District was found to be one of those districts that had issues of climate change in terms of hazards like flooding, drought, effects of drought. So the Life AR initiative was deemed to be necessary in the district of Chibale.
The Chibale District National Resource Officer, Animate Chaligonza Kashemire, appealed to residents to vacate wetlands and other gazetted areas.
We wish again to remind them and tell them that climate change is real, and as Chibale as a district, much as we may not be contributing much to climate change, but we are feeling its effects. So what is important for us now is to really get all the strategies to ensure that we adapt and become resilient to the effects of climate change. And how do we do that? We need to take some measures in terms of keeping the forests we have, in terms of preserving the little water we have, in terms of looking after environmental management. Those people in wetlands should move out, because if we don't really do that, it means that the effects of climate change are going to hit us most.
A section of affected farmers and residents from disaster-prone areas in Chibale and Kagadi had earlier complained about floods, chimp attacks and drought.
We have a very the family that was highly affected of Mr. Kamoto Julius in Kasara. For him, the whole house went, the roof went to the man, but take them to what was serious. Later on, he got made.
Winning requires the stamina of a lion. But most importantly, it requires that you carry that water up the top of the hill. However, you must use a spoon. Take the water now. We go, run, climb up the hill. 72 spoons. Faster, go, go. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Amazina ganje Nyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco Induga ya Rukungiri nyo muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda Noro Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana 278 ngafuna message eriko nyo muhanguzi nashirwa konka nabaza kugira ngo neri yafere sente ziriyo zo ko nazihangwire.
Ugandan Lottery. Dream, play, win. Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
At Uganda Development Bank, we are committed to empowering communities by supporting projects that unlock excellent economic benefits for Ugandans through job creation, tax contribution, output value, and foreign exchange. We seek partnerships with projects that drive economic development in Uganda.
Faith Care was started in 2012 with our few savings, with a capacity of 1,000 birds, and now we have a capacity of 10,000 birds. As it is called mixed farm, Faith Care deals in zero grazing cows, and we grow seasonal crops, not even forgetting coffee. But the main project or enterprise is poultry. Poultry is the mother of everything. We have been facing many challenges, but the most challenging part was during COVID. COVID hit us very seriously, and that's when I met my savior, UDB. But after getting UDB money with the low interest of it, we are able to go back to the track, and here we are. Actually, we are even expanding. We have a capacity laying birds of 10,000, and we are constructing more poultry houses. The UDB nafunamu because we got the money, actually the esente zazi tugasa with little interest with a grace period. So we are able to brood our birds, start laying, and we started paying, and we are paying very well. I think we are good customers.
We thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Energy transition is a focal point in global discussion on environmental protection and climate change. But the question is, how informed is the average person on the complexities of energy transition and what it entails for effective implementation?
Climate change is a reality that has implications on our way of life, the future of humanity.
Tulikimbia kukampu wakati maji yanakuja. Tunakimbia kukampu na sasa tuangalie kukampu. Na sasa hivi unaona sasa hivi kuna toka huko kwa maji huko naenda wapi kukampu.
Nyumba lizama kumai kule. Tena mimi nilikuwa mwenye kushona nguo, mashini yangu yote, kila kitu yangu yote lizama kumai. Miko tumie ile tu.
Humanity is faced with critical choices: panic, remain passive, or take decisive action to address challenges.
The people of Africa
and people everywhere need action to respond to deadly climate extremes. First, we need far greater climate ambition, with countries hitting fast forward and massively accelerating action to limit temperature rises and impacts.
Uganda and the global community have pathways available to confront climate change. Energy transition is frequently indicated as a key solution. This transition compels assessment of the energy we utilize in daily life, how we produce, consume, and sustain ourselves.
What kind of energies are we using to go about these activities? It's that some of these energies come from non-renewable sources, and that some of these non-renewable sources then have a serious effect.
There is an urgent call, particularly from countries in the global north, for a swift transition away from fossil fuels to mitigate its hazardous impacts. This demand is often perceived as unjust by nations in the global south, which contributes only about 3% to global warming.
You realize we tap into a region in East Africa that produces less than 0.2% greenhouse gas emission. Less than 0.2% in East Africa. How would you tell this region to decarbonize? It's like telling the fat kid in class to lose, the skinny kid in class to lose weight while the fat kids keep eating.
This accelerated push for transition places Uganda, a newcomer in the oil and gas sector, between a rock and a hard place.
If the brother countries work together, there is then the oil in Congo and South Sudan. This pipeline could turn out to be a very important project that may serve the region, not only in the short term, but also in the medium, if not the long term.
Apart from socioeconomic benefits, the project will also stimulate trade, investment, as well as unlocking the East Africa's oil potential, thus attracting more investors.
And I've been telling everybody that Africa is not poor. We just lack some finances, but we are not poor. Uganda is not poor, and Uganda is open to friends. So the financing institutions must hear this as banks plan to pull out because of the narrative of fossil fuel. We are watching as Africa. We are opening doors.
Since the discovery of commercially viable oil in 2006 and the subsequent launch of Uganda's oil project, the initiative has undergone thorough environmental and social impact assessments, all of which has affirmed its compliance with the necessary standards.
We've been able to benchmark and we've been able to make corrections from the mistakes that other countries have done. So for us, we are happy, we are moving slowly, but we shall arrive without casualties.
Moreover, the Ugandan government has clear plans for energy transition.
We will optimize and use all our renewable energy resources. By adding Karuma to the national grid, we see our clean energy electricity increasing to 93% of our energy mix. So that speaks again to greening, net zero commitment by the government of Uganda to ensure that we are achieving our nationally determined contributions as committed at COP28, but also under the UNFCCC protocols. So we are on track.
The energy transition agenda charts a course toward sustainable energy sources while ensuring broad stakeholder participation in this journey. Join us tomorrow for the second part of this comprehensive energy transition feature. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
The NRA Mobilization Director, Rose Seninde, has emphasized the need for ongoing dialogue and proactive measures to address challenges, promoting long-term prosperity for Pakwach's fishing community.
to address key concerns and foster collaboration among stakeholders for the preservation of aquatic resources. The Director NRM Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, outlined government's position on protecting Lake Albert, emphasizing the need for sustainable fishing practices.
And yet, His Excellency the President has from time and again encouraged Ugandans to get involved in socio-economic transformation programs to enable them at least to be able to get out of poverty. But if they're depending on the lake and the river and they have challenges, as a mobilizer of NRM, I realized it was important to come and see what are the problems. Because at the end of the day, my work as a mobilizer is to ensure that NRM wins.
A comprehensive program was proposed to curb illegal practices like capturing immature fishing, highlighting the importance of adhering to fishing laws for environmental conservation.
That our people are not sensitized. They are very ignorant about the law. So it means we have not done enough sensitization. We need to guide the people because the ignorance of the law does not save anyone. So if we don't guide the people and if we don't sensitize them and educate them on what the law says, then they will still make mistakes.
The Director NRM Mobilization stressed the significance of law enforcement and announced collaboration with the Marine Police to uphold fishing regulations effectively.
I would like to call upon the Minister to try and the government to try and implement some of these laws as long as they help our people. Because at the end of the day, the laws that are put in place for a purpose. So if the purpose is not achieved, then something is wrong.
The fishing community raised concerns about alleged mistreatment by certain officials, a matter promptly addressed with assurances that corrective actions would be taken against errant officers.
Representative of the commander has come. I came along with him to be able to address the concerns of the people because the people have always complained of the mistreatment by the fish protection unit. But it is important to also assure the people and give them hope. The good thing is that the commander who was in charge then was mistreating the people. But we are glad when the minister came, the commander was transferred.
Acknowledging the challenges faced by fishermen, Seninde encouraged them to join savings and credit cooperative organizations to better access government programs. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
That is all we had for you tonight. Thanking you so much for watching. Keep it UBC TV. Bye-bye and good night.